1976, 1976 is when the idea was born of a shopping center, the first kind in East and Central Africa.
So Sarit was the first shopping mall. How many people walk through your doors?
You'll be shocked to hear 25,000. There is a lot of behind the scenes that goes on in ensuring a shopping mall is successful. And you have to be on top of the game to be on top.
How have you maintained being the best mall in East and Central Africa?
You need to know what your shopper wants.
Absolutely.
We have to weigh that, look, if I bring in this tenant, am I bringing value? Is that what people want? It's quite a bit of, I would say, permutations and combinations. We've had to develop. It's not you just stay where you are. You can't satisfy everyone.
Yeah.
But you have to cater for everyone.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, CEOs, classmates, welcome to another amazing episode. As we always say it over here, this is a concert for businessmen. And I'm so excited because our lecturer for the day, I have been led into a world that I've been curious for so long, the retail space, and also businesses that have been going on and running for decades, and I'm super excited for this conversation. Our guest for the day is none other than Mr. Sarit Shah. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Morning, you well?
Thank you, very well.
Awesome.
I hope you are good as well.
Yes, I am good. Your team offered breakfast before and I was like, I'm too nervous. I'll do the tea after. So very kind of them. I still can't get over the fact that your name is Sarit. For me, Sarit has always been the big mall, and I think it speaks a lot to legacy. It speaks a lot to family businesses. And I'm just curious, you did inherit this from your father. And what was his vision when he was starting off Sarit?
So, I think a great question.
Yeah.
Let me go back a bit.
Absolutely. Let's do
to 1973.
73.
Yeah.
Amazing.
When our guru from India, Satari Rambapa, came to this country.
Right.
And we had a house on this land.
All right.
A small house.
Okay.
There were many houses, and
Right.
one of the plots was ours. So at that time, he had stayed at our house, and then my dad and his partner, so the two families, Shah and Rugani families,
Right.
just took him for a walk outside in the garden. And at that time, there were trucks from Uganda passing the main roundabout.
Okay.
So just out of respect, they told him that next time you come, we will be in a better location, and we are sorry about this noise and the trucks passing.
Right.
So he looked around, he put his stick on the ground, and he said something special will happen here, which no one will imagine. This was 1973.
Wow.
And then few years went, and suddenly the plots owners surrounding us started coming, saying that you want to buy. And then that's when he realized that, look, there was some blessing given in 73.
Right.
And then in 1976, Manekla Rugani went to UK Brand Cross.
Okay.
And that's when the idea of a shopping mall was born. And at that time, they were thinking, let's put a petrol station, let's do this. And then 1976 is when the idea was born of a shopping center, the first kind in East and Central Africa.
So Sarit was the first shopping mall in Eastern Central. Oh, that's amazing. Didn't even know that. Had they done any retail work? Had they prior to that?
No, so when we say our mother is textbook center.
Ah, okay.
And that is why, for me, and actually my whole career started there.
Okay, so you're saying this is the flagship?
Yes, this is the flagship store of Textbook Center.
Okay.
It's roughly just below 20,000 square feet.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it was a dream to have
Absolutely.
everything under one store.
I know you're an avid reader. Could you quickly pick up some of your favorite books that you've read from this space?
Yeah, you can see this. Then I mentioned this
Right.
when I was talking to you. Even Robin Sharma is there, which I said. Then this one is there. Sorry.
Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah, The Secret is there. There are quite a few books here.
You love The Secret.
Yes, there's the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. That's
Yeah.
probably just not here. I can't find it, but
This is
quite
my
a few good.
favorite, Malcolm Gladwell.
Gladwell, yes.
I think I've read all his books. Okay, man, good.
That whole IT section is there. That came later on.
Okay.
So it's we always started with books and stationery,
Right.
but now IT has also become part of the what do we call the product offering here,
Okay.
and that is why we say one-stop shop. Yeah, yeah. Our mother, we call it textbook center because that's where it started.
Right.
The journey started,
Right.
and obviously from then is what Sarit was born.
If there's something that amazes me about your culture is how you're able to pass down businesses from father to son, or from one generation to the next. So I'm always so eager to have conversations and just figure out how do you get to that point? Is this something like from when you're a child you're told, listen, yes, you might have dreams, but yeah, this is the family business. This is the only route you have to take. Or do you actually have an option out? I've always been curious.
Yeah, it's changed a lot.
Right.
Just generally, if you see the culture you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is handing over from generation to generation.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of even giving that's required because you're letting go of something. You need to be more tolerant.
Right.
But what the culture is now happening, especially even in the Indian, Asian, even other cultures,
Yeah.
is you need to have structures in place. If the businesses don't have structures in place, then to pass on from one generation to the other is a big issue.
Okay.
Even now these days I say, and our family,
Yeah.
the next generation, they're all doing their own things.
Right.
So it's my dad said it's fine. You decide what you want to do. Not to me, but I'm just saying generally.
Right.
But structures have been put in place
Okay.
for the legacy to continue, for the businesses to continue.
Okay.
But as I said, you need passion, you need tolerance,
Absolutely.
you need.
Are these some of the principles and virtues that I'm trying to figure out the conversations you used to have with your father? Like, at what point did you realize, I think eventually I'm going to go into the same business as my father and probably take over from where he left off? Around what age, around what time did you start having those conversations?
So I went to UK 1995.
1995.
I finished my A levels here.
Right.
Then I went to the Warwick Business School, University of Warwick.
Yeah.
Everyone knows
Yeah.
the Warwick Business School.
Yeah.
Then I did my accountancy after that. So in 2000, I think late 2000, when I finished 5 years there, so I was planning to work there for a few years
Right.
before, whether coming here or not. So that was the pivotal moment when he called me and he said, so I was telling him, look, let me work a few years here in UK and then I'll come. And then I'll come.
Absolutely.
And he said, look, it's better you just come now. So you enter the business and you start getting to know
Right.
how to trade, how to do business, and it's good you come back. So I said, fine. I said, it's okay. I mean, and I, the good thing that happened, right, is which in hindsight,
Right.
there's if I had worked for a few years in UK, and if I came back,
Yeah.
so obviously I was put into textbook center,
Right.
and if I had not, if I had worked there for a few years, then if I came, I wouldn't have agreed to even
Yeah.
go into textbook center
Right.
at the position of being in the warehouse. I was moved around from department to department.
Right.
So I started in the warehouse, and I wouldn't. Obviously, you've worked, you've come with that thing. How can I go in the warehouse?
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah,
but-
I have a degree from Warwick. No.
So in hindsight, at that time, I was even contemplating, but I said, since he's asked me and told me, I
Right.
said, fine, let me just respect that.
Okay.
And hindsight, is the right thing I did now.
Mr. Sarit, how does it feel being back here after so many years? You know, the assumption is because of your name, you'd automatically be given the seat of CEO like this, but your father made you start from the ground up. Like
Correct.
he sent you to the back end. Yeah. I don't know, how does this make you feel?
Yeah, this reminds me, 24 years ago, as I said, that the late 2000 when I came back
Yeah.
and I joined Textbook Center, I was moved from department to department.
Right.
And I remember this. I remember touching all this. I was in the warehouse for a bit,
Right.
right? Moving stock around, counting stock.
Yeah.
And you see, you go like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 blue. You write 6 blue, dozen, uniball.
Right.
And so
You
it
have to
reminds
take
me.
stock of
Yeah, I
every-
used to take stock. I used to help arrange,
Right.
right? And that's what's, it gave me a good idea in the back office.
Yeah.
I would say logistics, because in a retail business,
Yeah.
one of the critical elements is stocking
All right.
and the logistics,
Okay.
right? Because if you don't get that right, how are you going to sell?
That is
And where's your customer service? So I remember all this. Yeah.
That's amazing. Right. And as you are growing from department to department, what conversations were you having? What do you remember? Maybe a statement he will often repeat, and what values will he keep on telling you? You need to have this particular value to run such a large scale business.
So when I was moving to department, obviously there were others running the departments. Right?
Yeah.
But generally, the thinking you're saying that don't go with the mindset that you're owner of the business. There are others higher than you in the hierarchy,
Right.
right? And hard work, you must work hard.
Right.
You have to prove yourself, right?
Yeah.
You prove yourself, you bring value, automatically, you're given the recognition,
Absolutely.
because at the end the work should
Yeah.
say it.
Have you seen your management style now? You came in and you oversaw the expansion of phase 3, and of course you came in with new energy. There's a lot that has gone into the mall currently, but do you feel that there's a management style that you picked up from your dad that you mirror a lot?
So if we see, yes, when I came into as joint head of phase 3,
Yeah.
so that's when I left the textbook center side on a day-to-day.
All right.
And then once we completed that, then I came into the role of CEO
Okay.
of Sarit.
Yeah.
So there's a big management change if we see what was there earlier
Okay.
and now.
All right.
Obviously at that time the CEO was my cousin Nitin,
All right.
and my dad was the chair.
Yeah.
But so there are different styles naturally, and we have to go what is right at what time. But some things which he mentioned was humility, and I have a passion for the job. You can know, right?
Your team,
I have a passion for what I do.
I actually asked your team what you do for fun. And like, Mr. Sarit is always, he loves this place.
I know I have a passion to what I do.
Right.
And I want to obviously grow the business, ensure wherever our profile is, to maintain it and even improve it further.
Right.
But I think being on the ground or stay grounded is very important.
Absolutely.
Remember one thing, right? He had told me many years back, one earthquake, right? We've had earthquakes not here, but in
Yeah.
one earthquake and the building can go, right?
That's true.
So if I just feel, oh, me and me, it's not me, right? Whatever happens, there's a force, you do your bit,
Right.
and everything comes.
Okay.
You are just attract.
That's true. I'm curious about, taking over a business with such strong legacy, from your father. And of course, you have your own vision and your own style. And I'm trying to figure out how do you kind of mold and tell people, guys, this is how things were being done before with my father. This was his vision and his style, but I want to morph into this. But at the same time, just still balance out and keep his legacy good. How has that process been like for you?
Yeah, so obviously when I stepped into the role, there's pressure because this is the whole that we always used to do it like this,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
But now you want to change a bit of the style.
Right.
You know, what's I think important is the values should not change. The values values should not change, right?
The values.
Whatever the values.
Okay. Okay.
But your style and I was given a free hand, huh?
Yeah.
That look, as long as you the numbers are coming in, whatever the goals are being achieved,
Right.
and I'm free to change. I was given a lot of freedom, huh?
Right.
And that so that you and I it's naturally I should be given, otherwise what's the point of me being there,
That's true. That's true.
right? So and as you prove yourself, naturally you're given more load.
Absolutely. You have bigger shoes to fill. If,
But obviously I'll just say that to fill issues
yeah.
is next to impossible, because it was not, you see, he was an all-rounder, from a visionary to a philanthropist, to even spirituality,
Right.
and to even business, right? But pole.
Pole pole.
There's no hurry.
Do you think
I'll
he'd
get there.
Yeah. Do you think he'd be happy right now with the way Sarit is
Yeah.
moving on? He'd be happy.
He will be happy.
I always I think that's the one thing. My dad passed on when I was still a bit young. I was still in high school. I think for me personally, that's the one question I keep asking myself: will he be proud of what I've been able to achieve and what I'm doing? I think a father's approval means a lot.
I totally agree.
Absolutely awesome. There's some you keep mentioning the Rugani family, and I know Sarit is a partnership between your two families, the Shah family and the Rugani family. So now I'm curious how you keep that working, because, well, for your father and Mr. Rugani, they were friends.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you and the current new generation of the Rugani family are friends. But how do you keep it going? I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. The partnership even is obviously since actually I would say the partnership is before before Textbook Center opened.
Oof.
Because
okay.
we are from Muranga.
Are you serious?
They're from Muranga.
Allah.
So and they're
Yes.
from Nyeri Karatina. So that's where my father and Manik Bhai met in the 50s, right?
Right.
And they started Textbook Center.
Okay.
In fact, Harti is Muranga.
Oh.
Right, yeah. We have a school there as well, which
Okay.
we believed in giving back to the community.
Right.
So it's called Viduramji,
Okay.
and that's what we created, and we gave it back, donated it to the government.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so my dad is the
That's great.
patron.
Mm-hmm.
We still sit on the board of governors there.
Okay.
That's important to ensure the school is run.
Yeah, for sure.
So coming back to your question, yeah, so we met, and you have to just ensure because what is a bit easier is
Yeah.
in the day-to-day running of the business, it's me representing both the families. You see, just a few years ago, there were so many, but many have retired now.
That's true.
So that way, and obviously, when you've grown up with someone, you've learned also that certain relations are critical. You have to just give and take,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And at the end is also trust.
Mm-hmm.
You're trusted. It's and that's the beauty. You're trusted with the business. So
Right.
with obviously controls are in place. As I said, the structures are in place.
Absolutely.
They were put in. So
Right.
and that's what now is helping, because you know that when founders pass away and there are no structures, and you're so right. We've got examples even in our community where the generations can't talk.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
can't talk.
That is true. Wow. I mean, I hope it keeps on growing and to better and better heights. Now let's go to the business. Like I said, this has been a personal curiosity for me. If there's something I see happening a lot in Kenya is anytime there's a space and there's a big investor, they put up a mall. Like I think there was a time there were malls coming up like abracadabra, and I'm always curious about the actual business. Like if you were to say, what's the core business of a mall? For example, um, let's take East Africa breweries, for example. At the heart, their core business, what they sell is ethanol. They might put all these flavors and names, but their core business is ethanol. What's the core business of malls?
I would I would say it's providing a product to the shopper.
To the shopper.
So
It's an
it's
experience.
it's a product, I'm saying. So it's a product. What does the shopper want? So shopper is either an individual. We've got 8 or 9 portraits here of
Okay.
customer portraits,
All right.
right? So I just say shopper because if I go
Yeah.
into that detail, so it could be single parent, married with kids,
Right.
Gen X, Gen Z, all those. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all those are 8, 9 portraits we have.
Okay.
We have to satisfy them, and what do they want?
Right.
So that's when I say product covers everything from customer service to the actual product to entertainment. It covers fashion,
Right.
all the categories we do.
Right.
And that's the product is what do people want, right? You mentioned just what I think 12 years ago, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
when suddenly malls started coming everywhere, right?
Right.
From Thika Road to Kilelesh, everywhere.
Yes.
Gong, Karen.
Yeah.
Just I think 12, 15 years since they started constructing.
Yeah.
And at that time, we were looked at as a role model.
Yes.
So, if you have piece of land and you've got a bit of money, put it up. And now you can see some have declined.
Absolutely.
So, it's not just you put up something and it will work.
Right.
There is a lot of behind the scenes that goes on in ensuring a shopping mall is successful, right? We celebrated 40 years last year.
Last year, so
We've
41
had
years.
3 phases, but
Right.
we've had to develop. It's not you just stay where you are. Even now,
Yeah.
if I just say just stay, then we wouldn't have been like this. We've
Right.
had to, you come with new ideas. You need to think after 5 years where we'll be. Or are we planning another expansion later?
Right.
So it's always on the move, and you have to be on top of the game to be on top. But it looks from outside, so many cars parked here, so many people coming here. It looks, but there is a lot of effort, and I would say team effort. Huh?
Absolutely.
I'm there, forget me.
Yeah.
But it's a whole team effort
Right.
that ensures the success of this place. And I can't forget the team.
Absolutely. I think that's the one thing I struggle with. A mall is a physical building, and the needs, people keep changing. Gen Zs come with their new needs and wants, and we, the older generation, let's just say we, Gen X, they have their set ways. And so for you, how do you keep all these generations
Exactly.
happy? So that means constantly redesigning the spaces, the tenants. Do you actually think through like what tenants will attract what age groups, and how does that work?
Yeah. So a tenant mix is critical
Yeah.
to the shopping mall success. So they are our partners. At the end of the day, rent is not everything. As you said, that we have to weigh that. Look, if I bring in this tenant, am I bringing value? Is that what people want?
Right.
Right. So I get tenants here, applications saying that, look, please, we'll be able to pay any rent you want us to. And I tell them that's not the point. Rental, yes, is one bit. The second bit is, as I said, what value and are they bringing to the mall,
Right.
and what do people want?
Right.
If I bring in a tenant, and that's what most of my shoppers are not going to shop there, that doesn't help.
Okay.
It doesn't even help the tenant because they're
Yeah.
not going to do the business.
That's true. Wow.
So it's quite a bit of, I would say, permutations and combinations you have to review.
Right.
Remember, we've got the 8 or 9 profile here. You can't satisfy everyone,
Yeah.
but you have to cater for everyone.
Right.
You get?
Yeah. Oof. Okay. 41 years in the business. biggest mall in Eastern Central Africa. What does your footfall look like? Roughly how many Kenyans, how many people walk through your doors every maybe month or day? I'm not sure.
Average,
Yeah.
you'll be shocked to hear 25,000
Per
day.
per
Average
day.
daily.
Daily.
Walk through the mall.
That's like a political rally every day. Man, wow, the personnel to just manage that must be crazy. Like, how big is your team?
So we between the Sarit team and the Sarit Expo team,
Right.
we're around 70
70.
staff. But remember, the services from security to cleanliness, all that is outsourced. So all that is
Yeah.
all that is add-on,
Ahead.
right?
Yeah.
But this is the core team.
Right. Okay. So how have you maintained being the best mall in Eastern Central Africa? What makes people keep coming here? What do you think is your secret sauce? Or we can't tell that to the camera. We can't say that on camera.
I briefly mentioned. I mean,
Yeah.
first is you need to know what your shopper wants.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then secondly is a bit of research what is also happening outside
Yeah.
outside the country or
sure.
in the other parts of the world.
Right.
And that has also helped us when we're designing a new phase. We've made overseas trips just to see what is happening.
Right.
Right. Our second phase, for example, brought cinemas and food court. We got that idea from outside.
Right.
Phase 3 we brought in some new, for example, the rooftop food garden,
Right.
all that. So they're a mixture of things,
Okay.
if briefly I say that.
Yeah.
Right, in summary.
Yes, a concept I was introduced when I was talking to your team is tourism. Retail tourism, is that the word they used? Like, that is something, and I got to think, oh my goodness, it's true. Like, if you go to Dubai or to South Africa, one of the experiences you want to go is into a mall. I'm like, oh, wow, I've never thought of retail tourism as a thing. Yeah, is that something also really big on your end?
I wouldn't say entirely big because we get fluctuations, and tourists do come.
Yeah.
But generally, many tourists obviously are visiting other parts of the country.
Right.
Not much in Nairobi, but
Yeah.
and many business people they do stay in Nairobi. The ones who travel
Yeah.
out of the country, but they don't come on a every trip basis. But within the area, yes, we do attract tourists coming,
Right.
and they like to see the products that are not available in their place, right?
Right. Are there tenants?
Or their country.
Okay, awesome. From the shoppers, let me jump to the tenants because they, like you've just mentioned, tenants are very important to the success of the mall. I'm just curious, are there tenants you've had from inception and they're still here?
Yeah. We have since they have grown with us. Interesting, and
Right.
we've got roughly 16, 17 tenants
Right.
who have been 40 years with us.
16, 17, that must be a good land.
Yeah,
Kenyans don't love land.
what
Yeah.
this tenant landlord relation.
Yeah.
People, it's always
Right.
not an issue, but you know what people talk about
Absolutely.
landlords.
Absolutely.
So, but they've grown with us,
Right.
and that is good to see that we've played a role in their lives. So they've grown with us, and now many of those tenants have multi branches
Right.
within
the
country.
Awesome.
But it's good to see they started here,
Yeah.
and
for
this has been the catalyst for them.
sure. For them.
Because you do well, and then you obviously want to expand, right?
Absolutely.
Started, you don't forget where you started.
Right. What's your single biggest, I know I'm sure you must have several, but your biggest challenge as the CEO of the biggest retail mall in Eastern Central Africa? What's the one thing that gets you up at night? Like, what's your single most biggest challenge?
So, I mean, it doesn't get me up at night.
Okay.
But to ensure to maintain the profile, from that there is a lot of things. So
Right.
maintaining the profile.
Maintaining the profile. Yeah.
Yes. So that's, from footfall to the tenant mix. How do you attract more
Right.
people, keep on doing new events, ensuring the operations also run smoothly. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Is imagine if we don't have power for 20 minutes. What happens?
wow.
And we've heard, even
Yeah.
we've heard major institutions in the country have had blackouts, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And their generators not kicked in.
Oh,
Just
goodness.
for me, forget even 20 minutes, just think 10 minutes I don't have power in the building. What happens? So there are quite a few things part of the puzzle that they have to all combine and
Right.
work. From
Seamlessly,
all the things,
yeah.
yes, from operations to marketing
Right.
to hygiene. After COVID was a tough period. We went through COVID, we learned from COVID, but one event can put you off.
That is true. That is true. You've mentioned event, well, the latter one being COVID, but you also mentioned events, and that piqued my, because I come from that space. I'm an entertainer,
You're a master of that.
a master of that. Thank you. That's very kind. And so one of your biggest offerings is the Sarit Expo. And, I think, if I'm not wrong, it has the biggest in terms of seating capacity, indoor spaces in the country. Usually when we say in the country, then that means it's East and Central Africa. How do you conceptualize that? And thank you for that from creatives. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Expo Center, we've always found that when we, in our first phase, so in the early 80s, right? Early
Right.
80s, early 90s,
Yeah.
when we had a few shops that we converted into just expo space or fair, for fairs, for events. Then when we built the next phase, we thought we actually need a separate hall for this.
Okay.
And that was moved to 10,000 square feet at that time in the late 90s.
Right.
Then when we built phase 3, when we were designing in our brief to the master planners, we said we must have a fully blown expo center.
Right.
Right? We've got the largest column-free hall
Yeah.
of 38 to 40,000 square feet.
Wow.
So we believe that it was an important space to have, and we want to promote expos in the country, trade fairs,
Right.
private events. There's a lot of competition because you can see in the last few years
Yeah.
a lot of similar
Spaces.
spaces have come up.
Right.
So there's a lot of competition, but COVID, the space was virtually shut.
Yeah.
It's now started picking this year
Right.
with events coming back.
Okay.
And interesting is it's been a good addition.
Awesome. That is true. Also, this is on the second floor. I know where we were at Alo is the sixth floor.
That is sixth, yeah. That is on top of the parking.
That is on top of the park.
Yeah. So that is different, and here is just and it's good to it's good to have food offering on top
Yeah.
because then people go through the shops and then come up.
That is very smart. That is very smart.
Yeah.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Look at that.
And you can see, so the expo hall again is as per the design, we kept it in this corner of the new design
Okay.
because it's rather you have the retailers in the other floors,
Okay. Okay.
and then you want everyone to just come up.
That is. This space is amazing. Amazing. Oh, I think the boss lady is here.
Hi,
Hi,
Carol.
Hi,
You
how
okay?
are you? Good, I am.
Hello.
Hi.
Pleasure meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Yes.
Good. Let me introduce you. I'm proud to
Yeah.
introduce Carol,
Okay.
our first GM woman,
Okay.
and I'm very proud to say that.
All right.
She is the GM of our Expo Center,
Okay.
and she's in charge of day-to-day
Okay. So
of
she.
the Expo.
All right.
And over to her.
Oh, thank you
And
so
to
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
I
you.
Really
If you can
appreciate it.
excuse me,
Yeah, absolutely. You
I have to do
see your
some
stuff.
CEO.
All right.
Yeah, thank
Carol,
you.
over to you.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure you You see, I'm leaving. I have full confidence.
She's the boss. The minute we walked through that door, she's the boss.
Correct.
I love it.
Okay.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Okay.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Unakaa fiti?
Asante. Yeah.
Something Mr. Sarit just mentioned, you being the first female GM.
Yes.
How big of a deal is that? You know, he's mentioned it quite a lot.
Quite a
So
lot.
why is
Yeah.
it such a big deal? This has never happened before, or I don't know, or is it you? You're just a big deal.
I would say both. One, because when you think of worldwide,
Yeah.
we have few female GOs in terms of in charge of convention centers
That's interesting.
worldwide. In terms of it's
Interesting.
a male-dominated industry. People who run the convention centers, not a hotel, a convention center. In Kenya, I would not be the first because we have had a lady in charge of a convention, that is KICC.
Nana.
Yes,
Shaga.
yes.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
she opened the way, I guess, for
Right.
some of us to pass through that. And I wouldn't say I'm in this role just because I'm a woman, but I came with the competence that the role deserves. Someone needs to bring the event first to the expo.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you'd find that he's now the male GM going out and building on his networks and relationships to bring. So
Right.
probably when it reaches the convention, then it would be handed over to a planner who ideally would be the lady. Yes, yes.
Oh, there are two
Yes.
versions to it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Because there's the part of getting the business.
Yeah.
And when you think of especially expos, and here 90% of what we do is expos. I think just in terms of the standard, this is a world-class standard convention center.
Absolutely.
And we have very few of those in the country.
Right.
And that is why that lens, like for column free, we are the only one in Kenya. And what does a column free hall do for you? It allows you to use the space with a lot of versatility.
Right.
So meaning we are able to host differentiated types of events, not only expos. So that's a plus for us.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, product without service will not get us over that. You know, we
Yeah.
still will not be having those bookings if this was not complemented by service. So for us here, people is our strength.
I don't know. People always say that women shop more than men. Do you think this is a fact? Are you most of your shoppers female?
I wouldn't say most.
Yeah.
It's like 60-40 probably.
Right.
But it depends again on the category, right?
Right. Right.
So you get fashion, you got entertainment.
Yeah.
Sometimes the fathers, they bring their children.
Right.
So I would say depends on the category.
Okay.
It varies.
So the ladies spend more money than the gents.
Yes.
It's okay. That's a good thing. No, I ask this
But
because
yeah. It's part of life, right?
All right, it's part of life. I know we were talking about the expo, and I've taken this route because getting to sit down with a lot of CEOs and executives nowadays, I make a mental note when I walk into a space and I find, for example, the general manager for the expo is a lady, and already for me that okay, what's the thought about this? Diversity and inclusivity. Is that something that's big on your table as a CEO?
Yes, we believe in gender diversity,
Absolutely.
gender inclusivity, if you call it. Carol, her name, she's the
Yes.
GM of the Expo.
Absolutely.
And Expo comes part of the mall ownership and
Right.
mall
right.
management overall.
Right.
Her or him, we have no preference.
Absolutely.
For us, it's important to get the skill set. And if you find, for example, two candidates that are like this, a man and a woman, then we will go for gender balance. So
Right.
we promote that. Otherwise, we would have given a brief
Right.
that no, we're just looking for a particular type of person.
Right.
And yes, May, she joined us.
Absolutely. And like you said,
Right decision we made, I'm telling you.
yeah, like you said, the events are really picking up at the expo, and that's amazing. So that's why I asked about the shopper profile because it's like if majority of your shoppers and the people who experience the mall, the ladies kind of take charge, then that's a very smart move. I love it, and she's doing great work. The impact. Will you speak on the impact so far?
Yeah,
At the
so
expo, yeah.
we for what like even I've gone through, so I believe in that is when you join as I told her that you're joining, please understand the industry.
Right.
First month you should understand
Yeah.
the industry rather than just getting in and changing things. And we can see, especially she's from the sales side, from the staff motivation side. We can
Right.
see the improvement
Right.
and how she's settled in, getting the team together,
Right.
looking for new business. So as I said that we made the right decision.
Absolutely. So, it's, I've just thought about it. You're dealing with so many tenants, and that means you're introduced to so many businesses. And of course, you're dealing with 25,000 shoppers per day. So these are very many personalities walking through your door. And I can imagine that means you need a very diverse team, I must say. And the way the business runs is it's not your typical business. If I'm dealing with one product, then it's one product, the segments of it. What leadership structure or style of structure do you usually use? Like, how do you structure your team? So you're the CEO. Then how does this work so that everything moves seamlessly? Like you said, there's so many parts to a mall.
Yeah. So the structure which I brought in was
Yeah.
obviously me as the CEO, and then they've got from the mall side we've got seven direct reports.
Okay.
So from marketing to operations to HR to finance
Right.
to legal, even has become integral parts now.
Absolutely. IT. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then
Right.
obviously I have my PA, right? So, and managed to ensure that the job roles are very clear. Before we used to have, it used to happen in family business before where someone is doing multi.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
But what I realized because of our scale, then it's not benefiting the business.
Right.
It's better the person, for example, whether you say marketing,
Right.
you handle market, the job roles are clear. Yes, you'll have some gray area between the
Right.
and then I know who has to handle what. I get feedback, and they've got their authority limits. When they need me, they need to speak to me. But where I need someone to work on something, I'll ask them. So it's pretty much laid out properly, and that's the change I brought in.
Absolutely. We're over here at Becoming CEO, we always are curious about the man sitting in that office, the man or woman sitting in the CEO's office, the personality. We'll get to that. So let me just wind up with just about the business. And I'm curious, what do you think the retail business looks like in the future? Right now, with so much of digital, do I say interruption? Do I say what word do I use? There are more people shopping on their phone now as opposed to waking up and walking to a mall. Has that had an impact on Sarit? And what do you think the future of malls looks like?
So I believe in this region, the future is still there.
Okay.
Yes, I know you're talking about online sales.
Yeah.
That is happening, but
Right.
it's not at the pace maybe happening other parts of the world. And if you remember, right, at COVID there was a lot of online sales, but after COVID, at the end you want to also, what we've noticed is you want to go somewhere. If you're ordering online, you're not going to leave the house.
Yeah.
You become just on your phone.
Right.
This way, then you don't interact with people. So we believe, right, or even I believe that retail is here to stay. It's
Right.
not going to die. And you want that interaction. You want to go out shopping. You take your family, right, shopping. Sometimes what happens is you don't get everything online.
Yeah.
So there are varied reasons which I believe the retail is here to stay.
The retail is here to stay.
And I mean, online will be growing. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
It will happen. But at the end, even the economy is growing, right?
Yeah.
So every bit of the pie will grow.
Will grow. That's
But
true.
you won't have, I don't see a situation where retail will be collapsing.
No.
I don't see that.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you still want to go out on a physical date.
You want an experience.
An
right?
experience.
You're just going
Go
to-
watch a movie. You
Correct.
can't do it over the phone.
Right? Movies, yeah, you could see. Now you get movies
Yeah.
on online, you get Netflix, you got
Yeah.
Amazon Prime, everything you get, but at the end, you'll see still people say, no, let's still go and see a movie.
Right. Wow.
You could still watch it at home
Yeah.
with the family, but so
Right.
it's the experience, huh?
It's the experience.
And you provide
Yeah.
environment for that. That's what people.
Okay. You're carrying the biggest mall in East and Central Africa, and your shoulders must be heavy. So how do you I don't know, take care of yourself? Because it's a lot to think about to run this institution. So how do you relax? What do you do in your pastime? I'm curious about that.
Yeah. So one important factor,
Yeah.
you need to keep the head light. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah. Let me tell you one interesting thing. Huh?
Yeah.
People say, oh, you need to, let's say, sleep 6, 7, 8, whatever number of hours.
Yeah.
Is right. It varies from people. Some people
Yes.
8 hours they need. Some people 7.
Right.
6. Yeah, your body, you need the rest. Yeah. But if your mind is not light, even those 8 hours sleep is an issue.
Right.
So first, it starts with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The mind, you need to ensure. Mind, you have to control the mind is very difficult. But your mind, emotionally, and this whole stress, you need to keep it light, right?
Right.
And it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, then in terms of free time, right?
Yeah.
So I've got my kids there, so they're growing, 17
Right.
and 13 years old.
Wow.
So you
In
see
the
now
teenage
they
phase.
they also need me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they always needed me. So time with them,
Right.
with my wife and the kids.
Right.
Whether we go out, then you take them on holidays.
Right.
I play also paddle with them on
Okay.
and off when we get time.
Right.
I play golf as well.
Awesome.
I do a bit of meditation as well.
You should introduce me to golf. I recently broke my leg because I was playing football, and people are telling me, Philip, now your body is telling you try golf. Maybe you'll introduce me to the course. Yeah. Oh wow, that's
So it's all that you have to do.
absolutely.
And it's important to do because at the same time you're working, but you need to do other things as well.
Absolutely.
It's a balance, and that balance varies from everyone, right?
Absolutely.
People say family, personal, and business percentages.
Yeah.
But I believe you do the percentage that works for you and your family.
Okay.
That's what I believe. So it's not 40, 30, 20 or 50, 30, 20.
Right.
You do that works for you and your family.
Love.
That's the percentage
Amazing.
between the 3 sectors.
Okay. Are you a good dancer? Sorry, this is a cliche from watching a lot of Bollywood films. Do you dance as well? Are you a good dancer?
I dance.
Yeah.
And generally when we have, in Indian culture,
Yeah.
right, you've got these weddings where there's a lot of dancing. And
Yes,
so
yes.
I dance. I enjoy dancing.
Okay, that's
And
amazing.
my wife loves slow dancing, let me tell you.
Okay. Okay.
And then obviously now with the kids at this age,
Yeah.
when they're these DJ nights or anything, they say,
Right.
are you going to come?
Yeah.
And I know once they get older, then they'll say, now it's okay.
Yeah, we don't want you there. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you made your team dance? Kezia, has he ever made you dance?
Christmas party.
Christmas.
Christmas parties. Okay. That's staying true to the to the culture. Love it. We always like to ask what your stranger than fiction story is. Is there something that has ever happened in your life that if you tell people they won't believe? Maybe it was a moment that came full circle, or it was just a stranger than fiction story in your life. I think,
In my life or?
in your life, your personal. Oh, well, it could be about the business as well. Yeah, it's a tough one. People have to take a moment.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So, the interesting was, I think, what was a tough moment, right? We see is when my father actually, when he passed away.
Okay.
And that time, you know, obviously then there is pressure, right?
Yeah.
Because it's impossible to fill those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And how the years have gone by, and it's only about 3 years, more than 3 years. But the initial 6 months was very tough.
Right.
And after that, it was like, which direction am I going to go? And fortunately, I diverted to the right direction.
Absolutely.
And it was a 50-50.
It was 50-50. Had it crossed your mind to try another direction as opposed to running the...
No, so I that time you feel now, all this is there, it
Yeah.
has gone.
Oh, yes.
You are also going to go, then how much,
Right.
what do you want to do?
Mm.
In that way.
All right.
Not in terms of the structures and everything
Yeah,
was
yeah,
there. That's
yeah.
not the issue. But
Okay.
that keeps on, coming in the mind.
Right.
Is gone without anything.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing is going to happen.
Right.
Do you want to, what do you want to do? You want to go through what he went through? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Ensure family, business,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do personally. Are you willing to go through that?
Right. Wow. That is profound. Wow. Do you have a daily mantra? A line that you keep telling yourself every day when you wake up and it keeps you going?
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I think who has woken you up? So when I wake up, I think, when we feel that, oh, it's me,
Mm.
but there is someone
Right.
higher.
Yeah. There's a higher power that has woken you up. Okay. I love it. I know you're an avid reader, and so we also like to ask for we call our viewers, we call them CEOs or classmates. We usually say this is a classroom, and you are our lecturer for the day. So what are your top 3 favorite books that you'd recommend to anyone out there?
The monk one?
I know the one you're talking about. The monk. No.
Yeah.
Yes, the monk that bought. Yes.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there was on Narendra Modi, I read a book on Narendra Modi. I think
Okay.
I can't remember the title. That was
Right.
inspiring.
Inspiring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Narendra Modi is the current Prime Minister.
Yes. Yeah.
So those 3 books.
Those
There are
3
many
books.
books, but those 3
Mm-hmm.
have given some insight
Yeah. Absolutely.
into quite a few things.
Okay. And for the classmates at home, we will always try and attach links to the books themselves. And if they change your life as well, just come back to the comment section. Just tell us what you thought about the book and if they were good recommendations. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Sarit Shah, thank you so much for your time. This has been amazing. You've opened me up to a new world, and a lot of the guys watching, I know for most of them, it's a dream to run such an institution. Thank you so much for your insights, and hopefully we can catch up on that golf game soon.
When you start playing, you tell me.
Okay.
Or you should what you should do, have a target. I'm a believer of targets.
Yeah.
So you should set yourself a target that you're going to start golf.
I have been okay. How long have you been playing? It will take me a long time to catch up.
When I came back.
When you came back,
Yeah,
okay.
so after 2000. But
Right.
I play
Okay.
maybe once a week or once in 2 weeks.
All right.
So
I should set a target. Absolutely. Thank you so much. If you're watching this and you're loving the conversation, please engage with us. Let us know what you thought about our lecture for the day. And until the next class, asanteni sana.